Wow, that's such a cool idea to build. Why didn't I figure it out myself? Let's learn how to build a hotel.
Round 1.
I am building my hotel from dirt because I need something fast, and dirt is the block I can place without thinking too much. I start with the walls first and leave empty spaces for the windows, because even a muddy hotel should have light inside. A building with no windows feels more like a bunker than a place where people sleep. I make the walls tall enough for a full first floor, and I try to keep the shape simple, so I do not get confused while placing all this dirt. Then I look at the ground and decide the grass should go too, so I replace the grass blocks around the bottom with dirt. That makes the hotel feel more connected to the land, like it grew straight out of the ground. It is not fancy, but the color matches. After that, I place glass in the window holes. The glass is important because it breaks up the brown walls and makes the hotel look less like a giant mud box. At the entrance, I place a door because a hotel needs one clear way in, or guests would just stare at the wall and feel sad. After the first floor is closed, I build the ceiling of that floor from more dirt. It is a heavy material, but in Minecraft it still works. And a full ceiling is important because the second floor needs something solid under it. Then I go up and build the second floor walls in the same way, leaving spaces for windows again and filling them with glass. Repeating the window pattern helps the hotel feel more organized. Hotels usually need many rooms, and repeating windows suggests those rooms line up in a neat row. Inside, I place a staircase between the floors. A staircase is better than only a ladder in a hotel because guests should move up and down comfortably, not climb like they are escaping a mine. Finally, I build the roof from dirt in a pyramid shape. I like that shape because it makes rain seem like it could slide off the top, and it also gives the building a clearer silhouette. A flat dirt roof would look lazy. This one still looks silly, but at least it looks like a hotel and not just a stack of farm blocks. Phew, it took so much effort. Great, my hotel is ready.
What? Hello?
Hey, Banana Kid, look, I built it. Do you like?
No.
What? Is this not a hotel, but some kind of pile of dirt?
Oh.
Hey, actually, it's a shame. Maybe then you'll try to build a better hotel yourself.
Yay!
They ran to the place. This is where your building will be. Are you ready?
Yahoo!
Then go ahead.
Round 2.
I can see Banana Kid going for a much more modern hotel than mine, and he starts the first floor with light gray concrete. That is already a strong choice because modern hotels often look best with clean, neutral colors. Light gray feels like polished stone or smooth city walls, and it makes the building look professional right away. Then he adds huge panoramic windows from light blue glass panes. I like that part a lot, because big windows are smart on a hotel lobby. They let in more daylight, they make the inside feel bigger, and they help guests see the entrance from far away. Hotels need a front that says "Welcome" instead of "Mystery Cave." The light blue glass also gives the whole first floor a calm, expensive look. Like a place where the lobby smells nice and the floor is too clean to step on with muddy boots. Banana Kid is clearly not building for villagers with dirty feet. He is building for rich people. Or maybe for a king who wants a room with a giant view and too many pillows. Before he finishes too much of the top, Banana Kid works on the first floor interior surface and changes the floor to light gray concrete too. That is a very practical move. If the inside floor matches the modern shell, the whole hotel feels designed as one object instead of random layers stacked together. A clean, hard floor is also useful in a hotel because many people walk across it, drag luggage over it, and stand around at check-in. Outside, he places anvils with leaves for decoration. That is a nice modern trick. The dark anvil makes a strong, heavy planter base, and the leaves soften all the concrete around it. Good design often needs one hard thing and one soft thing working together. Too much concrete can feel cold, but a little greenery fixes that quickly. He also begins the second floor with quartz. Quartz is perfect for upper hotel levels because it is brighter than the first floor and gives the building a more premium look. The difference between gray below and white above makes the hotel easier to read in layers. Now Banana Kid finishes the second floor using quartz and more light blue glass panes. This combination works really well for a modern hotel because the quartz feels clean and expensive, while the glass keeps the facade open and airy. He also adds a front balcony exit on this level. A balcony is a great hotel feature because guests love outdoor views, and from a design point of view, it also breaks up the flat wall. If every floor was only wall and window, the hotel would start looking plain. A balcony adds depth, shadow, and a little bit of luxury. It also makes structural sense if the floor is strong enough below, and here, the concrete first floor looks sturdy enough to carry extra weight. I think Banana Kid is doing a good job of stacking materials in the right order. Heavy neutral base, brighter upper level, then a balcony to show where the nicer rooms might be. He is not talking, but I can tell he wants this place to look like a city hotel where the guests drink juice and look down at the road below. For the third floor, Banana Kid follows almost the same rule as the second, and that is actually smart. Hotels often repeat upper floors because repeated room layouts are efficient. When each guest room uses a similar structure, the building is easier to plan, easier to clean, and easier for people to understand. He uses quartz again with light blue glass panes, so the third floor clearly belongs to the same hotel family as the second floor. Repetition in architecture is not boring when it serves a purpose. In this case, it tells the viewer there are many guest rooms stacked in a neat order. I also like that the glass keeps running across the front, because long horizontal window bands make the building feel wider and more elegant. That kind of visual line can make even a simple block hotel look more expensive. The upper floors are becoming a nice contrast with the stronger first floor base. Banana Kid is quietly making one of those hotels that probably charges too much for orange juice and still somehow stays full every night. Then he builds the fourth floor in the same style again, using quartz and light blue glass panes to keep the design consistent. A fourth floor makes the hotel tall enough to feel serious, but not so tall that the lower floors lose their importance. In building design, too many identical floors can become dull. But here, 4 levels still feel reasonable and easy to read. The repeated bright upper floors also make the first floor look even more grounded. This is useful in hotel architecture because the entrance level should feel stable and public, while the levels above feel private and lighter. I think Banana Kid is using that idea pretty well even without saying a word. The clean stack shape, the balcony, and the big windows all work together to suggest guest rooms with good views. Also, quartz on upper floors catches light nicely, so the whole building feels brighter than my dirt hotel by about 100 years. If a guest had to choose, I think the answer would be pretty obvious, and I am trying not to take that personally. I keep watching him refine the outside, and the hotel really benefits from having only a few materials used in a controlled way. Light gray concrete at the bottom, quartz above, and light blue glass through the window bands. That limited palette is one of the reasons the building looks modern. Modern design often works best when it avoids too many colors and focuses instead on clean lines, contrast, and open facades. The plants in the anvil planters also keep the place from looking too hard and cold. A building for guests should feel polished, but it should also feel comfortable. I think that is what those little green details do. The balcony in front is also carrying a lot of visual weight because it says that the upper rooms are not just copies. Some parts of the hotel get special extra space. That little promise of comfort is very important in hotel design. People do not only pay for walls and a bed, they pay for a feeling. And Banana Kid is making this place feel much nicer than a plain cube full of doors. At the entrance, Banana Kid finally adds the word hotel using special letter blocks. That is a very efficient choice because the sign stays clear and neat without forcing him to build giant, awkward letters by hand. A hotel sign should be easy to read in 1 second, especially at night or from a distance. Now the whole building has an identity. It is not just a modern white tower with blue glass anymore. It is clearly a hotel, and the entrance reads exactly the way a hotel entrance should. I think Banana Kid made a calm, modern place that people would actually want to stay in.
Ta-da! Yay!
Where did everyone run off to? Hey guys, what's all that noise?
Banana Kid and I are building a hotel, JJ. Who did it better?
Oh, both of your buildings look great, but I think it's up to the audience to decide who did the best.
Yes, JJ, you're right. Maybe then you have comments on the construction of Banana Kid?
It only has 3 living rooms. It's too small to be called a hotel.
I totally agree with you, JJ. Maybe you'll build a hotel?
Okay, then let's run to the place.
JJ, good luck to you. We'll wait in the house.
What?
Thanks, guys. Then I'm starting. Round 3. I want my hotel to feel memorable, so I decide not to build a simple rectangle. Too many hotels look like stacked boxes with windows punched into them, and I want something more alive than that. I start with white concrete, gray concrete, and blue glass panes. White concrete becomes the clean main surface, gray concrete works like shadow lines, support bands, and corner definition, and blue glass panes make the windows feel modern and reflective. Instead of building one flat wall, I let some sections push outward a little. These projecting parts are useful in real design because they can create bay rooms, better views, and more interesting exterior shadows. When a wall sticks out, sunlight hits it differently, and that gives the facade depth. While I place the first white and gray sections, I remember the first hotel I ever saw in a city. I was young, I walked in carrying my bag the wrong way around, and I somehow ended up trying to greet a coat rack because I thought it was a very tall person standing in the lobby. That first hotel from my childhood stayed in my mind because it did not look like a plain block. Parts of it stepped out over the entrance. Some windows sat deeper in the walls, and every corner seemed to show a different angle. I remember thinking it felt like a stack of rooms having a conversation with each other. So here I do something similar. I let one lower section project forward, then I pull another wall back slightly. This is not random. Setbacks and projections can make a building look more dynamic, and they also help break strong wind on tall facades. In hot weather, they can create shadow pockets too. I continue using white concrete for the main planes and gray concrete for the edge bands because I want every pushed out section to stay readable. In that old city hotel, I also got lost in the lobby and walked straight toward a mirrored wall because I thought it was another hallway. That was embarrassing, but it taught me how much shape and reflection can confuse or guide people. As I keep building, I shape the lower front with blue glass bands between white and gray sections. Blue glass panes are very helpful here because they make the hotel feel modern and bright, but they also reduce the visual heaviness of all the concrete. A building with many projecting parts can become bulky if every face is solid. Glass lightens the form. I remember the first hotel windows I ever stared at as a kid. They were blue in the daylight, and I thought the rooms inside must all be underwater or in the sky. That memory is one reason I like blue glass on hotels. It feels calm and premium at the same time. I also make some window groups taller than others because not every floor needs to look exactly the same. Variety can suggest different room types, lounge spaces, or corner suites. The building is already more playful than a simple box. That is exactly what I want. A hotel should promise surprise, comfort, and a better view than the street outside. I extend the structure higher and keep playing with volume. One section rises straight up, another juts out like a viewing bay, and a third one connects those parts into one readable whole. This is a very useful architectural trick. When several masses overlap, the building can feel large without becoming boring. The key is keeping the material language controlled. White for the main walls, gray for the lines and transitions, blue glass for the windows. If I added too many colors, the whole hotel would turn into chaos. The first hotel I visited had one little cafe corner near the entrance, and I was so excited that I walked into the revolving door too slowly and got gently pushed around in a circle before I even entered. I still think that was funny. That memory reminds me that arrival spaces matter. So I shape my lower front carefully and leave enough openness in the facade that the entrance area feels obvious and welcoming, not hidden behind all the protruding parts. Now I focus on the side masses of the hotel. I do not want the side walls to be boring flat sheets, so I let some parts step outward and some parts sink inward. This gives the exterior rhythm, and rhythm is important on a tall building because repeated windows alone are not enough to hold attention. A stepped facade can also suggest that certain rooms have better views or a little extra space. That is believable for a hotel because premium rooms often sit in special corners or projecting sections. I remember that in my first hotel, I got out of the elevator on the wrong floor and spent a full minute admiring the carpet pattern because I thought maybe it was a sign telling me where my room was. It was not. It was just carpet. But that taught me something too. Interior and exterior patterns both guide people, whether they mean to or not. So I keep my hotel's outer form clear enough that even the strange protruding parts still feel organized and not confusing. The more I build, the more the shape starts telling its own story. A plain rectangular tower would be easier, but this hotel feels like it was designed by someone who wanted every side to have character. I use gray concrete around some edges to create depth lines where one volume meets another. This is very useful because when white walls overlap, they can blend together too much. Gray makes the joints visible. I also keep adding blue glass panes in long bands so the projecting parts do not feel too heavy. One of the funniest memories from my first hotel is that I opened the wrong door, expecting my room, and instead found a housekeeping closet full of towels. For 1 second, I thought I had booked the tiniest room in history. That made me laugh later, but it also taught me that good hotels need clear visual order. My design is unusual, but I still make sure the massing feels intentional. Interesting is good. Confusing is not. I finish the main exterior shape by making sure the projections balance one another. If one side sticks out too much and the opposite side stays flat, the building can feel like it is leaning. Balance in irregular architecture is very important. A building does not need to be symmetrical, but it still needs to feel stable. The final shell now has white and gray concrete volumes pushing in and out, and blue glass sitting across those surfaces like smooth ribbons of windows. Looking at it, I think about that first hotel one more time. It felt huge, bright, and a little magical because it was the first place I had ever slept that had a lobby, an elevator, and too many doors. My version keeps that feeling. It is playful, modern, and not just a rectangular box. It has corners that promise different rooms and different views. That is exactly what I want from a hotel. It should make people curious before they even walk through the entrance. At last, I move inside and begin the first floor interior. A hotel needs a proper reception area, so I build a front desk where guests can check in. The reception desk is very important because it acts like the brain of the ground floor. People need a clear first contact point when they arrive. I also place sofas for waiting guests. Sofas make the lobby feel relaxed and welcoming instead of empty and cold. Then I hang paintings on the walls and add anvils with leaves as decorative planters. These are great details because they soften the modern concrete shell and give the lobby a lived-in feeling. On the floor, I place carpets from red wool and black wool. Red and black together create a stronger hotel lobby look because the colors feel bold and a little luxurious. Carpets also help define the seating zone and the front desk area without needing extra walls. The ground floor now feels like a place where guests can enter, wait, rest, and understand where to go next. I go upstairs and start furnishing one guest floor in detail. It is high time for furniture. I place anvils with leaves first, so even the room has a little softness and decoration. Then I add a bed, a television, a sofa, wardrobes for clothes and shoes, bookshelves, an enchanting table, a brewing stand, a cauldron with water, a lamp, and a nightstand. On the floor, I put red carpets. This room is packed, but I organize it by function so it still makes sense. The bed and nightstand create the sleeping area, the sofa and TV create the relaxation area, the wardrobes handle storage, and the shelves and enchanting table act like a study or special hobby corner. The brewing stand and cauldron give the room a slightly magical hotel suite feeling, almost like this place welcomes unusual guests. I keep the pathways open enough to move around because furniture should support the room and not trap the person inside it. Once this floor feels right, I use commands to copy the whole room arrangement. This is a very smart thing to do in a hotel because hotels often repeat room layouts across multiple floors. Standardized rooms are easier to build, easier to understand, and more believable. I paste the same setup onto the other levels so the hotel quickly fills with matching guest rooms. Repetition is not a weakness here. It is part of the realism. If every room had a wildly different shape and furniture plan, the building would feel more like an apartment tower than a hotel. By copying this carefully designed floor, I keep the style consistent. Each guest level now shares the same warm red carpet, the same comfortable bed zone, the same storage pieces, and the same little luxury details. That repeated pattern also makes the whole hotel feel professionally planned. Guests would know what to expect when they enter any floor, and that kind of order is a big part of how real hotels work. For the last step, I walk through the hotel and clean up after the command work. Copying large room layouts is efficient, but it can leave a few extra blocks in awkward places or open small gaps in walls. So I remove the unnecessary pieces and fill any empty spaces that should be closed. This finishing pass is extremely important. A build can have a beautiful concept and still unfinished unfinished if the corners, wall joints, and copied edges are messy. I check the protruding sections too, because unusual shapes often create strange little gaps where floors meet walls. Great, my hotel is ready. It's time for me to show it to the guys.
Wow, JJ, you've got such a beautiful hotel. I would have stayed here.
Thank you guys. I am very glad that you liked my building. Friends, be sure to write in the comments whose building you liked the most. Well, I think it's time for us to finish.
Yes, JJ, you're right.
Subscribe and like. Bye-bye.